Well, good morning, folks. So you weren't expecting this now, were you? All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about non-farm payroll. I'll try to get through this as quickly. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about non-farm payroll. I'll try to get through this as quickly as I can before the market actually reacts to the news at 8:30. Obviously, if you're new, hopefully this will answer the question as to why I was commenting the way I was yesterday on Twitter. Also, for those that have watched my videos, like a Netflix series and just binge watched and just never really took notes, you won't really appreciate the level of gems and insight that I'm laying down in all the videos because it's tucked inside all the discussion part, the part that usually most people don't like to see. But I mentioned rather 3814 is a draw on liquidity for ES. And while we're spending a couple minutes together at 9 o'clock, I will be closing this Twitter space. But 3814 is a level that I had mentioned yesterday. I was looking for that as a draw on liquidity. And if you pull up your ESH2023 chart on TradingView, you'll note that it is the 3rd, January 2nd. I'm sorry, January 3rd of 2023 daily low. And that's what I believe that they're going to try to reach for. Now, before I go into all this, I want you to understand that I generally do not touch non-farm payroll. I only do it in the past to show you that my precision isn't always up to snuff on those days, much like on Wednesday afternoons and on Thursday leading into non-farm payroll. So because I know I have hurt myself and I've actually blown accounts as a young man when trading those days, I learned by having a journal, looking at where I was repeating issues and things that were problematic. Those were the days that I predominantly would dust myself because it's the beginning of a new month. Like everything else, like a New Year's resolution, people are going to get out there. I'm going to get more muscles. I'm going to get, leaner. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to save money. I'm going to go on a budget. Everybody starts off with a mindset, excuse me, a paradigm shift in the way they think about what they're going to set out for as a goal, and strive to do very well, hopefully doing that. Well, at the beginning of the month, as a young man, I would have my account funded, saving up money and such. And I would try very hard on the first week, thinking, okay, the weekend's coming, I got to make all my money. And then those days going into non-farm payroll would ruin me. So I learned my lesson from that. Now, the market obviously will gyrate around, and I generally get some non-farm payroll analysis ideas right, but not most of them. Okay. Now, if I am honest with you, I'm telling you that up front, and I tell my students this all the time. Why would I? Why would I try to get out there and arm wrestle the market when I know that that is where my kryptonite is? If I can identify where my weaknesses are, and I am mature enough to know that that's where my weaknesses reside, why would I go and do that very thing, challenging whether or not that still exists as a truth? It would be ridiculous, right, for anyone. So, also, real quick, while I do believe 3814 is a likely draw on non-farm payroll, 3804 and a half. Also note that as well. That would also be December 28th, Wednesday of 2022. There's a daily low there. And let's just say, for instance, the market really unravels today. And I'm not saying I'm right, okay, but I want you to see these are where I am expecting the market to go to today. And if it doesn't go there, then you're going to clearly see that this is the reason why I don't want to engage. This is exactly why I tell my students don't trade those days, because it's a carnival ride. It's a whole lot of volatility generally coming in the first 15 or 20 minutes or so after the news release in about 8 or 7 minutes from now. Right now it's 8:22 Eastern time in the US. And if you watch this morning and say it completely goes the opposite direction, I'm going to feel vindicated because I'm going to say that this is the reason why I don't do it. Now, worst case scenario, some of you are in here listening to this and you're going to be looking to do something and you're going to try to trade it and look for a move to go to 38.14 and or a move to 38.04.5. Okay. And it's going to go the other way, tear your face off, and then you're going to hate me because you did something I told you not to do. So that's why I'm telling you, don't do that. Just observe it. I have no problem sitting out here in front of you, like yesterday, walking you through why I don't trade those days. Because yes, you saw me pick one good move during the move or the market hours after 9:30 to lunchtime or whatever. One good move. That was it. Everything else wasn't doing anything for me. So it's stuck in the mud. So if I know the market is likely to consolidate, gyrate around in a small, meaningless, aimless range, like a sailboat without a rudder, why would you want to go out there and try to show yourself exactly what you already knew in your heart of hearts? You're not going to be able to make money in that particular environment or that market climate because it's waiting for what? The news to drop in less than 7 minutes from now. And then it creates this excitement, this carnival ride. And traders will be out here waiting to do something because there's movement on the charts. So, like a hungry leopard out there in the plains, they're going to be sitting waiting for movement, and the eye catches movement, and then boom, they pounce on it. Well, that's what this event does. Non-farm payroll, NFP in short, I call it not for professionals. Okay. And I wish I could remember who I got that from because it's not original to me, but it stuck with me. Not for professionals was a wonderful analogy for non-farm payroll because while there generally is a lot of excitement that comes out during that time at 8:30 on the first Friday of each month, it's not advised for you as a developing trader and or someone that's profitable. Why would you gamble? Because that's exactly what this is. It's a gamble. You're asking the market, you're daring the market to take money from you. That's what you're doing. You're saying, here's the likelihood of me likely losing because it's wild, it's volatile. And sometimes it's not volatile. Sometimes it's a lackluster event. And still you can end up losing money because it doesn't go where you want it to go and just drifts sideways or doesn't do anything. And you get squeezed out of it, and there it is. So there's not what it used to be in the 90s and 80s. It used to be a pretty consistent outcome to non-farm payroll. And that's why it was a steady draw for people to want to do it. And then as electronic trading became a thing, a lot more volatility came in, which brought in more what? Retail interest. This is the day that everybody makes money. No, that's the day everybody loses money. I'm talking collectively as a retail trader, new startup, someone with less experience. Now, I know you're probably going to list 10 people that you see on Instagram or Facebook that show you after the fact, this is what they made with their MT4 accounts. That's forget all that. Okay. We're in the really real world here. I'm ICT and I'm telling you, I don't know what NFP is going to do. I don't know. So if I don't know and I don't have a statistical probability that would consistently deliver an edge, why on earth would I trade it? That goes against the whole reason why we are doing anything in these marketplaces, right? We're trying to trade in an environment that is controlling risk and has the opportunity and probabilities for us to succeed. Not a guarantee because none of us is guaranteed. So in the event that the market was to really unravel, okay, because we're in that daily range, consolidation, trading range, or whatever I mentioned the last time we were on YouTube. Until we leave that, we're going to see really just choppy, aimless market, price action. It's not going to do very much at all. So, and then again, this is the reason why I don't like trading in January. I wait till the first Tuesday of February, let the first month get priced in by everybody else out there trying to do something, with their New Year's resolution. They're going to make money. They're going to quit their job in 90 days. All these things, these unrealistic goals and resolutions as a trader. And they're all going to do what? Converge on a day like today, because they have been trained to see social media influencers tell them, I made this much money. I caught the bag on NFP. And you don't know if those trades are real. You don't know if that's a fake MT4 server. You don't know if that is a account that's even yours. You didn't see them execute. You didn't see them show you beforehand why it should do what it should be doing. I've co-signed, I've said that I believe that 3814 will be tagged. I believe also if it gets animated to the downside, 3804.5, which is Wednesday, December 28th of 2022's low. Why would I go into that expectation? Well, I think that it's going to want to try to lull traders into thinking it's going to go down a lot. Go down there and then get them caught short. And then they'll probably pull it back up in the middle of the consolidation on that daily range or that trading range on the daily chart. So it's a matter of whipsaw price action. And it's not altogether, predictable. So I like to have things that are very, very problematic for a retail trader, but advantageous for me. I want to see where there's an arm wrestling match between retail logic and the concepts that I teach you. And there is no consistent delivery of that I have been able to measure and see in non-farm payroll. So if you were to, I guess, poll or ask or sit down and interview the most successful financial traders in the world, if they were honest, they would tell you this right here, you don't want to do this. You don't want to trade in the next minute or so.